Their personal head-to-head is not encouraging for Bingham. He's beaten O'Sullivan only once in 8 attempts, and that was a peculiar one. 2010 UK Championship first round. O'Sullivan led 6-4, Bingham won 9-6. And as Neil Folds alluded to in our build-up, O'Sullivan certainly wasn't at his best then. His mind wasn't really on it, and in winning the last 5 frames there wasn't a break over 30 on either side, but O'Sullivan's in fine fettle now, as is Bingham. But evidence there that perhaps Bingham is feeling the tension. He wouldn't normally miss that.
Yeah, you just get the feeling, Clive, don't you, that he needs to get off to a decent start today, Stuart Bingham. Right into himself there. It's a different occasion out here today. We've seen before the break off there. Nice photograph of the players with the beautiful trophy they have at the end of the table, and it's a different ball game when you go out there in the big arena and all of a sudden there's a huge trophy at stake. Didn't have the sense of occasion before. When you look across to your right, as Stuart will, and see it, you realise what you're out there for. Big day for him.
7.
There is the trophy, and for the winner there's £100,000 to go with it. We say this so often, a player is either just right on the blue, just above, or just wrong, just below. Sullivan was just wrong that time.
12.
Much better this time.
$18. 19.
He was too thin on the black to hold for the back red.
26.
So hope to keep the break going by developing a red out of the bunch.
Yes, it was the red was the bad shot, wasn't the black.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 26.
Figured he wouldn't leave anything if the double didn't go in. But because it's rebounded at an acute angle from the far jaw of the right middle, maybe there is a glimmer of a chance for Bingham.
So that delicate long red from Stuart Bingham has given him his first scoring
8.
chance. Today's final.
9.
Quite get a hold of that as intended. A little bit low in the black for comfort. Maybe forced into playing a cannon here on the back of the cluster of reds. It's a tricky little pot this. The cue ball being close to the black makes it very missable, this sort of shot. When your eyes in, you knock in without any problem. Oh, that's nice. Controlled it beautifully as well for the red that obviously goes past the blue.
16.
Well there to retrieve that little situation.
Well, perhaps through big match tension, Bingham failed to make anything of his first chance. He's settled into his game now.
That was a beautiful little shot there.
22.
Quite deliberately glancing off the edge of the pack. And everything up now for him.
I do think it's extremely important for Bingham to make an early impact, because Sullivan is such a terrific front runner that if he got 2 or 3 frames in front, he would get probably better and better.
Yeah, sure. 30.
I think the fact that Stuart didn't play the cannon on the pack there tells us that the middle one of the 5 reds will go to this same right corner here. I feel sure he would have played to open the reds up otherwise, so yeah, he's just coming round to have a look at it now. There you see it. See the middle one of the 5 reds. Dropping that nicely, you'd expect him to push a couple of reds into play off it. Couple of key little shots just coming up here, and that looks perfect.
38. $39. 46.
Not going to be happy with that one. Didn't get a hold of that, Clive, did he?
No, he wanted to be much straighter on this red to right corner so that he could hold position just about automatically.
Just looking at the tournament stats for the whole week, Stuart Bingham, it's a 92% success with the rest, so don't want to put the mockers on him here because it's a tough shot, but he's obviously very handy with it.
And judged the cannon off the second red to perfection. So no reason at all why Bingham shouldn't clinch this opening frame now.
$54. 55.
It's just a little settler that Stuart Bingham needed, isn't it? So you need a Decent little chance at the start of the frame, missed for him, quite a comfortable red. Thankfully, a good chance
62.
in this time. It's been no mistake.
63. $70.
O'Sullivan attempted a double, thinking that he would leave nothing even if it didn't go in. But it did leave
71.
a red to far corner, and Bingham has been at the table ever since.
$76. 77.
Bingham will feel not only good about winning the opening frame, but even better because of the manner in which he's won it.
82. $84.
i.e. with a beautifully controlled break, which looks like becoming a century.
87.
Yeah, and just putting down an early marker, isn't he? He's telling Ronnie O'Sullivan that you let me in the balls here, pal, I'm going to score a few.
91.
Couldn't have wished for a better start, Stuart Bingham, this final.
$96. $104.
A clearance of 109, a great start for Stuart Bingham. He leads Ronnie O'Sullivan by a frame to nil.
Welcome back to the Champion of Champions tournament and the final between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stuart Bingham. Bingham has taken the opening frame, but O'Sullivan's at the table midway through the second.
Now this is a definite chance for Stuart Bingham. He can play for blue here off 3 cushions. Snooker. A reward here for Stuart. This is a big shot because he'd automatically be on the blue, you would think, and top side of it he may have a chance to bring that yellow into play.
Has he got the cannon? He has.
6.
Although he has pushed the yellow past the middle pocket.
Stuart Bingham 6.
Preferred the safety to the tough pot down the rail. It's worked out pretty well, despite the kiss. Well, kind run of the ball for O'Sullivan. Could so easily have left yellow to middle. Good pop.
2.
Very unlucky kiss.
Yeah, he's no problem really hitting the green here, I think, Ronnie, but he's worried about the in-off in the middle pocket. So he's not out the woods just yet.
No, but the yellow itself was sufficient. Leave Bingham needing a snooker.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 2.
It's not lost, is it, Stuart Bingham? Somewhat of a chance here to get in behind the black off a couple of cushions. Didn't quite get into the cue ball. He'll be keen to put this frame to bed, Ronnie, won't he, Clive? He's had a couple of chances, and in fact Stuart had a good one as well. So as I say, important that he just puts this away.
Well, it looked as if he was going to do it more than 10 minutes ago when he was in with 66, but unexpectedly lost position for the penultimate red. So it's turned into a struggle.
Just interesting there where the pink and black have finished, Clive. I just wonder if Stuart Bingham might play the green. This left middle pocket here. Might be worth playing the pot. No, siding against it, but the reason I say that... Well, that's a good shot. Done well to get the snooker there, but as I say, the reason I say that, if he potted green, brown, blue and got in behind the pink, somewhere around where the green is right now, it'd almost be a guaranteed snooker. Expect Ronnie to hit this, and this is his chance. Maybe he's going to try and get one off the brown here, screwing in behind the blue. Difficult to control these little shots. If you get it, it's going to be a good one, but as I say, it's tricky.
Stuart Bingham, 3.
Yes, and putting the brown so close to the pink has made it trickier. Just shows how good a snooker has to be for O'Sullivan not to hit it.
Got the snooker again, Clive, but shouldn't be a problem again. That's just a trace of left hand side. Ronnie would do well here to shift black or pink somewhere. He probably won't. He'll play the pot in the brown, but as I say, Stuart gets a chance to pot brown. He'll definitely take blue in addition. Somewhere in behind the pink, it would almost be a guaranteed snooker. So still in the melting pot, this frame.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan 6. Free ball.
Because the non-offender can't hit
Free ball.
both edges of the ball on. So for O'Sullivan, that pink was an extra brown.
4. Eight.
Despite making a 66 break early on, it was still a struggle for O'Sullivan to
Foul.
clinch this second
8, Stuart
frame.
Bingham 5, frame Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Bingham had a fleeting chance to snatch it, but it's O'Sullivan's frame, and the score is 1-all.
The third frame, Stuart Bingham to break.
First to 10 wins. It's 1-all. Very important for Bingham to stay with O'Sullivan in the early stages. You may have heard O'Sullivan's gasp of disappointment as he realised he was off beam. That attempted long pot by a long way. Even if he missed it, he wasn't expecting to leave this red.
1.
We mentioned concern about, not concern, but mentioned Ronnie's long game
8.
during the first couple of frames. It's not been up to scratch today, Clive, is it, this far?
No. That was more or less a three-quarter ball long pot, and in the end he hit it pretty well full in the face.
16.
Had he only just missed it, he would have covered what proved to be an easy red for Bingham.
17.
He would have covered it by means of the bunch.
$24.
That was well controlled for Stuart. That to the inch, so if he wishes he can play low in the black here.
25.
Which he has done. If he wishes, he can try and bring some more reds into play. Just depends how he sees this. He may well play for the red up the table. Of course, playing for that, if he lands nice on it, he can take his pick. As far as getting an angle in the next colour, either blue or yellow, I would suggest.
32. $33.
In the early stages of a match, you just play. It's only much later that thoughts of winning or losing really come into it.
Foul. Stuart Bingham 33, Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
Very unlucky. Played the cannon on the pink just about perfectly, but a red comes out of the bunch and drops in.
1.
So Bingham, instead of being 38-0 and on that red, he has to sit down and see what kind of counter-attack O'Sullivan can manufacture.
Well, that was a delicious little shot from Ronnie.
4.
To have a nice angle in the red to bring the others into play as well.
5.
Flirted with the middle pocket.
Yeah, this time it was Ronnie's turn for his heart to probably just skip a little beat there. It's worked out just about perfect. Straight enough in this red to drop it through for the black.
$11.
This is where he's so good, Clive, isn't he? He
18.
seems to just sort everything out so quickly. And it's with control
19.
as well. That's the amazing thing.
$26.
There's another clever little shot. Look at that.
27.
See, he does it quickly. This blue, well, I assume he's going to pot. Put him 4 points in front, and almost in the blink of an eye, he's looking like winning this frame from absolutely nowhere.
32. $33.
He's got all
40.
facets of his game working. Ronnie O'Sullivan, positions like this, you just fancy him to clear up, don't you?
41.
Mere mortals, you think, oh, don't really fancy him here. With Ronnie, it's hard to see him missing sometimes. See, this is a really tough clearance. But look at the control in this as well. That's played to the inch.
46.
That's where he'd have put the cue ball with his hand there, deciding to play it right-handed. If he can reach it, I think he would be able to. So, one good shot here. Be nice in behind the last thread as well.
$47. $54.
Just red and colour needed then.
$55.
Well, didn't have the angle perhaps to get round for the black.
55.
So settled for the snooker. 27 in front, 27 on.
You regret that there, Ronnie. He could have made a better job of that in behind the black. Stuart hits this, which he has done. He'll still be in this frame. The house's luck. Can Ronnie get through to the yellow? Don't think so.
It's in O'Sullivan's favour that the pink is safe. Some protection against the clearance Bingham would need to tie. The yellow attempted, but runs safe. Whatever that last shot was, it wasn't an attempt to develop the pink, because O'Sullivan needs only one further colour to secure the frame.
Two.
Good long pot from Bingham.
Five.
Needs to clear up to tie, and obviously pink is going to be the problem.
Nine.
Not far enough round. His intended next shot was to pot pink to middle and cannon the pink via the black cushion.
Yeah, there's no path to the pink now, Clive, so he'll be leaving a double if he can. Good shot. Give
14.
himself a chance. Like I say, he'll definitely be playing it. Big shot this. Expect him to be on the black.
Stuart Bingham, 14.
Played it with full commitment, knowing that it was almost certain the pink would finish in the middle of the table if it didn't go in. This pink for a 2-1 lead for O'Sullivan. Safely in. O'Sullivan leads by 2 frames to 1.
Welcome back to the final of the Champion of Champions tournament. It's Ronnie O'Sullivan against Stuart Bingham. Bingham took an early lead, but O'Sullivan hit back in frames 2 and 3. This is now the 4th. Bingham at the table and building on a break.
Well, the cannon hasn't helped him there, but 94% pot success with the rest throughout the tournament. %100 today.
Green ball. Stuart Bingham, 23.
Well, kind run on the ball there for O'Sullivan. Bingham snookered.
Yeah, we've said studio earlier, and we've said in commentary, it's important that Stuart Bingham stays with Ronnie as long as he can in this match. You know about how good a front runner Sullivan normally is. He gets to 3-1, so he's going to be in trouble. So it's a massive frame, this, Clive, isn't it, for Stuart Bingham?
I think the very top players against the next echelon are more likely to win the longer the match is, because they've got more frames in which to make just that extra degree of class tell. And of course O'Sullivan has done that in the major tournaments. 5 world titles, 4 UKs, 4 Masters.
One.
Yeah, a good example of that, Clive, was last spring's world final, wasn't it? I think Barry Hawkins held Ronnie to 7 each at one stage.
And then he pulled away to win 18-12.
6. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6.
Left himself slightly more to do with that pot than he expected to. Expected to have slightly better position, screwing back off the blue. That red wasn't far from the pocket, but you've still got to be accurate.
I think that's an example, that shot there from Stuart Bingham, of just a case of the cloths. It's 6 days old now. That, well, this is day 6. Matches on that table, and as the week goes on, the pockets do get just that little bit tighter, especially in that kind of shot that Stuart had.
Because the sheen just wears off the cloth, and the balls don't slide in quite as they do on the first couple of days.
Seven. Okay. Eight.
Once again there, Ronnie just dropped short in the blue, but still decent
13.
in this red. That's the key to it. Apart from, can he pot it? Can he get a nice angle and a colour? Just attack those 5 reds.
$14.
Had to avoid the pink and hit the right hand side of the
90.
cluster there. Didn't quite manage it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 19.
I think it shows how switched on O'Sullivan is and really wanting to play, that he relishes battling out the scrappy frames as well as those that are decided in 1 or 2 visits. He's got all the patience in the world when he's in this kind of mood.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that, Clive. Give our viewers a little insight into Ronnie. I spent about 20 minutes, half an hour on the practice table with him yesterday, and he was practicing what the professionals would call the real hard stuff. You know, thin safeties, like a shot he played a couple of shots ago. He was working hard on those thin blacks off the spot, that kind of thing that just sharpens you up for matches. Really does put in hard work. Practice table. He's mentioned that a few times in interviews, hasn't he, Ronnie? He says, okay, I've got some talent, but I've still got to work hard at my game. As I say, you can be sure he does.
Well, there have been a couple of books recently by Malcolm Gladwell and Matthew Syed, and with both of them, the theme has been that however much natural ability you've got, you don't develop into a world-class player unless you do 10,000 hours of practice. And I know that O'Sullivan has done that. Started playing seriously when he was 10, when he made his first century.
One.
Yeah, so at last, Ronnie, there's a bit of success in the long game department. Wiped its feet, mind you, but having dropped nicely on the pink here, a decent chance to, if not win the frame at this visit, at least put himself in a strong position. The red most in the open, past the black, so you can go for a choice of reds here.
Seven.
Probably like to get rid of the middle one of the three, but whether he fancies it or not, yeah, this one. Oh, beautiful shot.
8. $15.
Well, has left this red behind the black thinner than he intended to. And that created sufficient
Sullivan, 15.
extra difficulty for him to miss it.
That surprises me. Stuart felt that it would go in off the other one, but he had to be so precise, it had to hug the cushion all the way along. As we've seen, it left the rail, so Sullivan can negotiate this plant successfully.
1.
He's just about on the black as well, so if this black goes in, be set fair to take that 3-1 lead at the interval.
Eight. Nine.
Wow.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 9.
That black would have secured the frame for O'Sullivan, but as it is, in cannoning the red, he's given Bingham a chance to pull the frame out of the fire.
1.
Brown not ideally situated, mind you.
Seven. 9.
This situation not dissimilar to that in the second frame, when Bingham had a fleeting chance of a winning clearance.
$12.
Yeah, it's not ideal for Stuart. He's got ever so slight angle in this, but the harder you play it, obviously, the less chance you have a pot in this. We'll just try and screw it back. It's possible. Oh, what a shot this is.
16.
Shot of the day.
He deserves everything that he gets from that. That was, well, sumptuous pot from Stuart Bingham there. Couldn't see any way he could pot that at that pace, so 10 out of 10.
Well,
O'Sullivan is going to pay the penalty for missing
27.
a simple frame ball, which would have given him a 3-1 lead.
34.
So with that 34 clearance, Stuart Bingham levels the match at 2-all at the mid-session interval.
As we
Stuart Bingham bungles the break-off shot. Whatever you do, don't hit the blue. But he's not left anything.
Yeah, that clearance from Stuart Bingham, Clive, from last red to black in the last frame will do wonders for his confidence, won't it? Not only getting 2 each at the interval when it looked for all the world like 3-1 O'Sullivan. Settle Stuart into this match.
On the other hand, Sullivan is bound to have beaten himself up a bit through his blunder at the end of the frame when, in concentrating on a delicate developing cannon, he failed to pot the elementary frame ball black, a black that would have left Bingham needing a snooker. It's a test of tournament snooker players. They have to forget about the mistakes they've made in the last frame and not get too carried away by any euphoria they may feel from having done something special.
Looks like Ronnie can get through to this straight red. One next to the black there. He's eyeing this up. What sort of angle, if any, he has in it. Fashion position on the black. Have to strike this sweetly.
One.
I don't think the pink's on. Black either. Blue's no bargain, so barring a good pot in the yellow, which I would doubt he would even play, it's going to be in the break. This is a little feature of O'Sullivan's play for me, Clive, the last couple of years. He doesn't just go down and play a safety, he's having a look there. It's the second look he's having, thinking, where's the best place to put Stuart Bingham here? Give him the most problems.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Love a little shot that from Ronnie. Set Stuart this trap. Now he's playing red. It's an open play here. He's going to have to get this thin. Yeah, very good.
Didn't get anywhere near the pot element of that shot to nothing. Early stages, I know, but Bingham right in this. No sign of any repeat of the 13-4 trouncing that O'Sullivan inflicted on Bingham in the World Championship last spring.
Another little demonstration there, the cue power that Stuart Bingham possesses. To get the cue ball in baulk. Now is this a little plant Ronnie's eyeing up here? Not quite, but the cue ball can find its way onto the baulk cushion. No, it hasn't. This red may look a decent chance on screens, but screens rather, such an acute angle. Play it at any pace, you wouldn't fancy him getting it, so if he plays it, just be dropping it in. Blue obviously is waiting. Yeah, excellent.
One.
Slightest of angles here, Stuart. Obviously he's not playing for anyone, excuse me, particular red. Just hoping to play this cue ball down somewhere between blue and pink spot, I would imagine.
Six. Seven.
It's clever. Played that as a half shot to nothing. Getting top side of the blue as well. He's got nothing to do with this cue ball here. So this is now a genuine frame winning chance, you have to say. Red spread, far and wide. Pink and black easily available also. So good chance.
13. $19.
Pin drop silence in a packed arena.
$20.
Not his best. Needed to be slightly above rather than below the blue. I know we say that very often, but it's a shot that comes up often.
Yeah, that's the point, Clive, isn't it? You do go on about it sometimes. Of course, the players don't deliberately land
25.
short in the blue. Oh, brilliant shot. Good recovery.
26.
Cued it absolutely beautifully. So again, just retrieved this little situation here. One good positional shot off the black. Just straightforward this. The red on the right side cushion is just causing him a little problem here. Oh, that was a good shot. Played that with check side. Just to hold the cue ball.
33. $34.
I think Bingham is playing sufficiently well
39.
and with sufficient confidence to believe that he can go close in this match,
40.
if not win it.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like he's settling into this. Last shot he played in the blue was an absolute gem. The inch perfect position.
47.
All opened up from now. The lead is 46.
$48.
Bingham lost 4-3 to O'Sullivan in Antwerp last week. Sullivan went on to reach the final, where he lost 4-3 to Mark Selby. Bingham beat 6-4 yesterday in the semi-finals here.
55. $56.
Just checking the scoreboard. He needs one more red here, Stuart Bingham. Imagine play this round off 3 cushions, 2 or 3 that is, for the red right a picture, just round the back of the yellow. Well played, and for a right-hander he should be able to just stretch over and reach this. There'll be no heroics here. This red is effectively frame ball.
$64.
So it looks as if O'Sullivan is going to fall 3-2 behind.
$71. $72. Stuart Bingham 72 and the frame.
Not bothered about not making the century. The 72 has made Bingham's point effectively. He leads by 3 frames to 2.
A miss on the blue proved a frustrating experience for five-time world champion Ronnie O'Sullivan as he battled to regain the lead in the final of this Champion of Champions tournament. In contrast, Stuart Bingham was a model of consistency and stepped in to take the frame and extend his lead to 2. This is now the 7th.
Frame 7. Stuart Bingham to break.
Bingham has won 3 frames in succession to lead 4-2. Ronnie O'Sullivan conceded the last frame with 2 snookers needed. I think many players would have given it a try, at least for a while, but it was his decision to make. He's not hit that safety as well as he'd hoped.
Stuart, as you say, Clive, when in the last 3 frames he has the momentum shift just at present, doesn't he? More evidence of it there. Can he stop short for a baulk colour or get a good kiss in the green? I think more so these long matches, this being best of 19, of course, momentum shifts are very important, aren't they? Say Stuart one with it at present, and the longer he can keep a hold of it, the better it's going to be for him. Just get Ronnie in the rack, just a touch at the moment.
3.
Well, if Bingham could win this frame, he'll be certain of a lead at the interval.
Stuart Bingham 3.
But he fails at that potable red.
Sometimes, Clive, it's very difficult to gauge how Ronnie's feeling, isn't it? I mean, we were looking at him, his demeanour during the break after that last frame, and he looked very disinterested, didn't he, sitting? But then he can spring to life, so as I say, it's difficult to gauge how he's feeling.
It is. He was lucky to leave the red, which is lucky not to leave the red next to the yellow. Not that it's done him any good.
1.
Bingham, though, unable to hold black ball position.
Stuart Bingham 1.
If, in my opinion, Clive, if I was to look at this match in the cold light of day, as far as what's gone on so far, there's a couple of elements of the game where I think Stuart Bingham's by far stronger, especially in the long game department.
And he's also scored pretty heavily. Break of 109 in the opening frame. 1 of 72 to lead 3-2. 52 to clinch the 6th.
Yeah, say the long game department there, the actual statistics on that is Ronnie's at 60% and Stuart Bingham's at 50%, but for me he just looks stronger, Stuart Bingham. There's another example of it. Another shot you'd expect Ronnie to knock in, comes up short again.
Now, to what extent is O'Sullivan going to get frustrated with his own shortcomings? That's what's so frequently undone him in the past. think a high percentage of this capacity crowd would have come here expecting an O'Sullivan victory, but it's not how it looks at the moment. Bingham can capitalise on his promising opening. Could be in for a major surprise. Several balls moved, but nothing great left for O'Sullivan. Good shot.
One.
Yeah, it was a good pot, wasn't it? He's going to need an equally as good a pot here. This is very missable, this little tricky brown cut back. Oh, beautiful. Made to look easy. Tell you, it was far from it.
5.
Just a little bit of angle, I think, in this red to force the white back up for the black.
6. $13. 14.
Said earlier, he's a bit of an enigma, Ronnie O'Sullivan. You never quite know which Ronnie's going to turn up, but as I said, he can spring to life at any moment, and once again,
21.
within
22.
this break's only been going just over a minute and a half. From almost nowhere, he's got a chance to win the frame.
Well, he's so good at developing the bunch,
27.
leaving himself on a ball already loose, whilst developing more
28.
for later.
It's another gorgeous little shot there.
35.
Cue ball perfectly. Either side of the blue will do him. Yep.
36.
He's coming round to see where he wants this. Doesn't want to be hampered by the yellow. With his body, that is. So he'll keep a tight cue ball here. Let it drift too far towards the green. Played a deep screw for a choice of 2 in actual fact. Of course, I'm forgetting that he can play left-handed as well.
41. 42.
You almost get the feeling he played that blue there just to get the last one out of his system. He missed one that was even easier.
48.
Just a short while ago.
$54.
O'Sullivan back on song now.
55. $62. 63.
Last 2 or 3 frames been really ragged from Ronnie O'Sullivan, but this contribution here positively poetic.
70. 71. 76. Ronnie O'Sullivan 76 and the frame.
It doesn't matter that O'Sullivan has missed a century. The break of 76 has reduced his arrears to 4-3.
The 8th frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
O'Sullivan has got to win both remaining frames of the afternoon session to carry a 1-frame lead into the final session this evening. Excellent long pot from Bingham.
Yeah, I did say, Clive, didn't I, that Stuart Bingham looks more dangerous to me in the long game department. That was a little example of it there. As good a shot as he's played in the match, and this is another aggressive one, screwing off the back of the pack here.
9.
He's also been scoring pretty heavily once he's got in.
Cued that well. Just found a little gap there.
16.
Right to left corner. Just looking at a little plant there as well. Maybe not for this shot, but just for future reference. You see it just next to the one he's playing.
17.
Wouldn't really want to go into the pack here. He's got a great angle to, but there's no need. There's plenty of loose threads on. Of course, if he were to go into the pack, there's always that chance he can stick on something. Decided just to leave a mid-distance thread. Right corner.
24.
Well, how odd.
Stuart Bingham 24.
He missed a red exactly like that in the opening frame.
Yes, and he missed it the same way. He missed it thick, didn't he, Clive? From memory.
He did make 109 from a second chance, but maybe there won't be a second chance this time. O'Sullivan, though, is off the boil. Okay, he did make 76 to win the last frame, but he's made quite a few unexpected errors this afternoon.
Yeah, sure. 1. Eight. Nine.
Yeah, I think that plant's still there at the right side of the
14.
cluster. He's not quite straight in it, so he might not fancy it this time, but he's just looking at it again there. Now you see it. Just set for the right hand job, but there's a couple of inches in between the reds. You should be able to make this without any problem, playing for blue or bulk colour.
Fifteen. Twenty.
I have to say, he looks a stronger
21.
player right now, doesn't he, Clive Stuart Bingham?
He does. He's methodically playing the balls, and O'Sullivan is not playing well enough for any aura that he possesses to be any kind of issue.
Yeah, he's getting a few chances, Stuart Bingham.
28.
Now having to work for some of them, or most of them.
$29.
Yeah, I don't think the red at the apex of the cluster of reds there will pass the right corner. The shot will tell us. As I said, I don't think it does, so he's had to risk the cannon. Played it perfect, deserves to be nice, and he is.
34.
Of auras, Stuart Bingham has that aura for me just right now. Where it's a nice feeling you have as a snooker player when you feel like every time you go into the pack you fancy landing in one, and that was a case in point there. Stuart could have easily played in a loose red, but just looks confident right now.
35.
Well, as long as he makes the most of this, he's going to have an interval lead.
$40. 41.
This frame to go 5-3 up.
46. 47.
And then the pressure would be on O'Sullivan to prevent him getting away to a 3-frame advantage with which to resume this evening.
$53. 54.
O'Sullivan did have one chance in this frame,
61.
but was unable to exploit it.
62. 69.
Nice
70.
little chance here for Stuart Bingham, just to let his arm keep flowing, knock in a few easy balls, show this capacity crowd what he can do.
76. 77.
Shouldn't have any problem in compiling second century of the match.
Which would be the 214th of his 18-year professional career.
82. 84.
Just by reaching the final, he went just over £1 million in career prize money.
87.
Sure of £50,000 for his efforts today. But at present, showing that he's got
91.
a very good chance of doubling his money to 100,000.
96. 102.
So with his second century of the match, 109, Stuart Bingham leads Ronnie O'Sullivan by 5 frames to 3. The 5 times world champion is under pressure.
The final frame of this session, Stuart Bingham to break.
The Rockets fans are hoping that he's going to win this last frame of the afternoon to limit his arrears to 5-4 going into this evening's final session. But if he doesn't win this frame, he'll be 6-3 adrift.
Yes, as he just sensed that this is a time to
3.
start getting himself going here. It's a dreamy opening
4.
red that he potted. Start this.
$11. 12.
Not quite perfect this time. He's got to play a good little positional shot here. Doesn't have a lot of room to play with. Almost lost it, but
19.
here's the red to the far right corner.
$27.
Just look at how well he
28.
could that. He actually got in the cue ball there was something to behold. Probably green this time. Can play for a choice of 2 reds, the 2 outside reds.
$31. 32. $38. $39.
Wasn't quite right on the pink, and would like an easier shot than
45.
this.
Okay. Consciously playing a little bit higher on the blue, so just to guarantee an angle to chip open a few reds. Now, how's his luck? Will the red pass? Oh, he's down on his knees.
51.
It's tight, isn't it? Bottom one will pass. Being a left-hander, or sorry, once again, good for his left hand. He retrieved it.
52.
And now it's a genuine frame-winning chance to close the session. Just one frame behind.
$57. $58.
O'Sullivan needed to respond after losing 4 of the previous 5 frames, and has.
$65.
Just 10 or so minutes ago,
66.
looked ragged, a bit listless, in all honesty. Sullivan. So again, in the blink of an eye, Stuart Bingham's broken off here. Ronnie spotted, as I said at the time, a dreamy opening red. This is the result.
$73. 74.
Just looks like he's having fun when he plays like this, Clive, doesn't he? I mean, and why wouldn't you?
81. 82.
O'Sullivan's only going to be 1 frame behind, coming back for the final session
89.
this evening.
90.
I'm just been watching Stuart Bingham
97.
for duration of this break. You can be sure he's enjoying this.
98.
It's a joy to watch, he really is. Starts hitting the ball properly.
103.
Very elegant.
105. 108.
O'Sullivan has made a few costly mistakes this afternoon, in particular one that cost him the 4th frame, which would have given him a 3-1 lead. But he's responded to the threat posed by Bingham.
123.
And he has ended the afternoon with a sublime total clearance of 130. Even so, it's been a great afternoon for Stuart Bingham. He carries a 5-4 lead into the evening session.